Good morning, everybody. Can you stand for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Just wanted to say real quick that Cheryl Loudermilk's in our thoughts and prayers. She lost her father yesterday. Mother, sorry. And she will not be here today. So we're thinking about her. And Miss Judy, are you our auditor today?
No.
Oh, Karen?
Okay, first we've got a set of meeting minutes for the bid opening for the Community Crossings Matching Grant Project.
Is your mic on, Karen?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just want to do that too.
Are you making fun of me?
You know, but I was going to revel in that moment. No, I can't hear you on the speaker thing.
We also have bid opening minutes for the Bridges 310A and 310B project. And then minutes for the regular meeting, all of which were held on August the 2nd.
Is it okay to approve all those at the same?
Can we do the minutes first? Can we do them separately, or you want to do them all in one fell swoop?
You can do them however you like.
So knock them all out?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve everything that you just read off. Thank you. I wasn't here.
I'll second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Karen.
Okay.
Mike wasn't here, so he
Right.
stepped out.
Okay. Next, we have claims for July 30th through August the 5th in the amount of $490,574.08, plus payroll in the amount of $1,110,446.48, for a total of $1,601,020.56.
Any questions by the commissioners?
I don't have any questions, but I do want to share something that in one of our budget meetings, one of the council budget meetings, there was a discussion about postage stamps and our fees, and I'm looking at Tammy just for affirmation on this. This one, we have a bill to Pitney Bowes for $100,000 that we're approving. That goes towards those mailing machines.
Right.
So when they're talking about, when the discussion was had, Howard, I think you may have touched on this in your report, that the county council cut the commissioner's request for postage, and there wasn't a clear understanding that we do, a large amount of that money goes towards those machines to process the postage. So I just wanted to share that for the meeting. Did I articulate that okay, Tammy? Okay. That 100,000, that's for 2 machines.
That's what they put in the machine to run the postage. That's actually.
Okay.
That was just
One machine, all right. So postage is still expensive for us, and as the postal rates go up, so do our expenses.
now we've added a new machine down at the sheriff's department.
Yeah,
So-
I remember that, and there was quite a bit of discussion about that.
Yeah.
I think your key remark is they didn't seem to be clear about that there's a lot of postage around the county that the commissioners pay for.
Yeah, it all comes under us.
Yeah,
Election years are gonna be higher than non-election years.
it wasn't our imagination when we requested it, was it?
No, I think there's a thought that we just make the numbers up, and, well, we do that most of the time, sometimes we pay attention, right? Yeah, okay, that was a joke, just kidding, want to see reaction, thank you. No, but it's, when you're doing, these budgets are huge, and when you're on the stand trying to answer those questions, it's hard to remember all that right out of the gate. A lot of times follow-up's important,
Well,
so.
we send signature confirmation, which the board send a lot of, those are $7 each time one of them go out.
$7, isn't that neat? Okay.
Yep.
So looking for a motion to approve.
Yeah, sure, I'll make a motion to approve the.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Okay.
opposed?
You got that one okay, Karen?
got it.
Yeah. Mike jumped right in on that.
Lastly, we have claims for August the 6th through August the 12th in the amount of $3,635,189.36.
And my Pitney Bowes was actually part of this claim right here, so the one that I just mentioned. So I'll make a motion to approve the claims August 6th, August 12th, in the amount of $3,635,189.36.
Second.
All in favor, by aye?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Auditor McCammon. Okay, second on the agenda here is the Slum and Blight Spot Declaratory Resolution. Christy Gerald sent this to us. This is just another step in the process of the remodel, reconstruction, however you'd like to word it, of the Music Conservatory building at St. Mary's. St. Mary's has already done their part. We just have to declare this Slum and Blight. The resolution is right here. If you guys would like to see it, it's just pretty self-explanatory.
And to follow up on that, it's just our endorsement and sponsorship is what helps move this forward. The funds would go through the auditor's office and be distributed as needed, but we're allowed to do up to, I think, 5 of those in a period or a year. I kind of forget how that works, Jude. But,
So, don't sign it yet. Let's make a motion to approve first.
Make a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll second.
To
All in
move
favor
this
by
in.
aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. Thank you for that one. And then fourth, I'm sorry.
I'm making a correction on this, Chris, because it says that I'm the commissioner president.
Okay. Juvenile Justice Center Director Norm Loudermilk came to us with concerns of his building, how long that building's going to last, what we expect of the building, whether he should invest money into the building, or if there's talk of having a new juvenile center built somewhere down the road. He reached out to DLZ. DLZ offered to do a study. I reached out to DLZ. We got the price down a little bit. So for $14,000, very similar to what we did at the Vigo County Jail, DLZ is going to look at the inside, the outside, the pipes, the roof, the building structure, the court system, everything inside there, and let us know if it's worth investing more money in, or if, we maybe need to explore having a new juvenile center. So I have a contract here for Norm and for DLZ for us to approve to move forward with this. So if there's any other comments, talk about that as well.
I have a comment. Larry, this be incorporated with our plan that we were talking for across the county, assets and what have you. I mean, we're not doubling what we're
No,
paying
I don't
for,
think
are
so.
we?
No,
Okay.
you're looking at existing infrastructure in this. You're talking about the capital improvement plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, the capital improvement plan would be, extended beyond this, so this would be something that seems like it's an immediate need that needs to be evaluated, so no, it wouldn't be in conflict.
Okay. Thank you.
The way I picked up on it was that Norm was looking at the possibility of building a new center because this new center is needed for many reasons, efficiency being one, infrastructure. The building was originally a banquet center converted into a juvenile center. When we were looking at building the new jail, several of us here at the table pitched adding the juvenile center to the jail project because that would make sense, but we didn't do that. So now he's looking at what the opportunities are. I am personally supportive of Norm's initiative in the aspect that I want to see a ratio and what it actually costs to operate the juvenile center. When you look at how many Vigo County juveniles are in the facility compared to the outlying counties, because there are a lot of counties don't have juvenile centers, so they send juveniles to our center to be housed, very similar to how we send inmates from the jail to other counties. The difference is, and I could be off a few dollars, but I think we're reimbursed $35 a day for adult inmates, whereas juveniles were $125. What's wrong? Is that number right? I think 35 is what we pay or are reimbursed if we house somebody, which we don't. But when we are housing out of county juveniles, our rate is 125 or 127 that we're paid. So I think a study like this will help us determine whether or not our current juvenile center is feasible, if we should continue to keep a juvenile center even open, or if we should farm it out to somebody else or look at a different way. So That's why I'm supportive of the study, because it's more than just the building from the way Norm shared with us. Is that how you recall it too? But if
Yeah.
it's just DLZ though, I probably have some more questions. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I just know Norm reached out to DLZ, and I think that's all.
Okay. Well, DLZ did the ratio for us on the jail, so, but, you know, it's not gonna be out of our pockets, not out of our budget. Norm has the money, he asked us for his support. We're the entity that signs the contract, so with that said, I'll make a motion to support Norm in moving this forward to ask the council for the appropriation instead. That was wordy.
Second.
Thank you. Teamwork, guys.
Just to be clear, there's no intent to build a new juvenile center right now. This is just a study to see what the next 20 or 30 years look like in Vigo County for juvenile center. So Commissioner Kearns, you made the motion to approve. Mike Moore seconded. All in favor, by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Number 5, letter of authorization for ProVal. Mr. Gardner.
Commissioners, Kevin with the County Assessor's Office. We've had a discussion before, and matter of fact, I came to you with Beacon, Snyder Beacon, to have a contract in place for them to host a site for the current Beacon website to have our property record cards available to the taxpayers. That's a statute that's been put in place. We don't have a choice, we do have to do it. But that's just the first step. They'll host the site, but we have to get the data to them. It doesn't seem like something to be that difficult, but we have got 60,000 parcels. Each one of those has to be put into a PDF that's named by the parcel number. For us to do that manually, the hours it would take, it just wouldn't be worth the time, and we just don't have the manpower to do it. ProVal says that they will do it. They are our current CAMA provider, but it's at a cost of $3,000. So I do have the money in my budget. I just wanted your approval, since you have to sign contracts, to get this letter of authorization going.
Any questions?
Is this a one-time deal and then we're?
This is yearly. We're gonna have to do this every year, because when I send out the Form 11s, that shows what the assessment is for that current year.
Okay,
I have to make that current property record card available to the public.
Okay, yeah.
So I've gotta do this every year.
okay, all right.
So Kevin, what we approved last time is not, I'm on my personal property right now. I'm not seeing anything there, right? So I would anticipate to see this if we move this forward today.
Yes.
In the fall.
Hopefully, I'll have it in the next month or so. It
Okay.
just, Beacons keeps contacting me saying, okay, we need to start, you need to give us the file. I don't have the file.
Okay.
So this is just to get the file up there for Beacon to put it on that site.
And you've got the money, all's good. You just
I've
need
got
our
the money.
blessing for us to
Just-
sign the contract. I'll make a
Yes.
motion to move forward with the contract to enhance the Beacon module for the property tax cards.
Second.
All in favor, by
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, number 6, utility agreement. This is with Indiana American Water. Larry, do you want to touch on this, or Terry, or Brendan?
I'll do it. You want me to save you some steps, Larry? Okay, we're just making an adjustment to the one that we approved not too long ago. Indiana American Water's attorneys want us to change a word, and the word was, kind of forget. Rick, what was it? Okay, so the legal term, Terry, is from easement to whatever it says. Yeah.
Right away, yeah.
But we reviewed it, we're fine with it, so it's attorneys, getting together and, making things better. So I'll make a motion to approve, unless there's any other questions, sorry.
I looked over the contracts. I mean, the main thing you just have to understand is that if there's any relocation down the road, that kind of thing, that it's at our expense. So,
It is what it is.
yeah.
Second.
All in favor, by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Number 7 is an appointment to the Public Defenders Board. This is to certify that you, John Isaacs, are appointed to the Vigo County Public Defenders Board effective this 31st day of August 2022 for the 4-term expiring on August 31st, 2025. Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Oh, he's already on there. Second?
All in favor, by
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Number 8 is the deed of easement for the Riley Spur. We finally have this 25-page deed of easement that Terry has worked relentlessly on. We all have. You guys have all gotten in your email. It's been sent back and forth between Thomas Dinsford with CSX and Indiana Railroad, Terry, and all three of us. So if there's no further questions on that, we can make a motion to approve this. And
Make a motion to approve the easement for the Riley Trail.
Second.
all in favor, by
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That's a big one. And then number 9, or
Hey, Chris,
actually,
before we go
Yeah.
further, even though, this is officially done today, it's been in motion, the trail is not open. The property, the line is not there for anybody just to go walk on. There are strict rules on that. We're gonna have signage, and, I hate the term barricades, but that's what they are, placed in key areas. So, while this is officially, the easement is ours, it is not open at this time, and our highway department's been working on cleaning up the intersection areas that have been neglected over the years, with the tall grasses and weeds. A couple of our South Unit guys went out Friday or Thursday, I forget, to hit the town of Riley. Then we're gonna hit other key areas. Railroad ties are being pulled up. They'll be removed, according to CSX's, they'll be disposed of according to CSX's wishes. And we continue to move forward on getting the trail built, with hopefully have it open this time next year. Is that good enough update, Larry? Okay. So the key thing, Howard, if we can, it's not open for people to go on right now. Sound good, guys?
Sounds good.
We good with that?
Yep.
Mike?
Yep.
Good message.
All right, Larry Robbins, Highway Engineer, Bridge 310A and B. I'm gonna do that next here in just a second. Yep.
They switched it up.
You know Larry, he gets anything he wants in Vigo County government, so.
He deserves it. He's really good at what he does.
Commissioners, Larry Robbins, Vigo County Engineer.
Can we proclaim today Larry Robbins Day? Let's give him the key to the county.
Anyway,
So on August 2nd, we opened bids for bridges 310A and B, which is a deck overlay project for those bridges out there. It's on Fruit Ridge, just south of Beach Street. We have reviewed those bids. The consultant went through and analyzed the bids. Everything seems to be in order. All the applicable information is there. We did have 2 bidders. Just to recap, Force Construction at $841,328, and White Construction at $1,063,520. The engineer's estimate was $763,075. So the apparent low, or the low bidder, Force Construction, is a little over 10% over the engineer's estimate. In this atmosphere that we're in currently right now, I would deem those a successful bid. We did have 6 plan holders pick up plans for the project, but we only had 2 bids. So, with that, I would request that we award the bids to Force Construction.
Can you go over those 2 bids again real quick?
Force Construction, $841,328.
okay.
And White Construction at $1,063,520.
Thank you.
You're saying forest, like
Force,
force.
F-O-R-C.
Where are they out of, Larry?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Have we used them before?
We have not.
Okay.
Clark Dietz was more familiar with them. They do a lot of NDOT work, a
Oh.
lot of state work, so,
And you're comfortable with them?
yes.
That's what
Yes,
matters.
I've reached out to a few additional county engineers. I think they did work in, Monroe County and other places, and they seem comfortable with them, so.
And you said the bridge numbers. Can you go over again where the bridges are?
Yeah, they're Bridge 310A and B, and it's actually 2 bridges that are side by side, which is Fruit Ridge Avenue right at Beach Street, right there at Deaver Distribute. So, it appears as 1 bridge, but it's actually 2.
And I know it confuses people, those are in city limits, but the all
Correct.
bridges within the county, with the exception of a couple, are ours,
Correct.
are ours. When's our next bike ride? We need to make sure that those bridges are ready, since that's where we take off from, right, Mike?
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day? Will they be done by St. Patrick's Day next year?
Yes, it's
Okay.
a 70-day contract, so they'll be done this
Sounds
fall.
good.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
And then, number 10, actually, technically, is a Gordon Flesh leasing agreement. Tammy, correct me if I'm wrong, is this a new copier or just a new one? Okay. Yep.
That's replaced the copier in the commissioner's section of the building? All right.
So it's a 60-month lease, basically, $243.30 a month, $9 more. Any questions?
No, we've worked through it, and it's just one of those inevitable things. $9, I guess, a month is reasonable.
Tammy's really good at negotiating. She's like an auctioneer. So,
She did do good. Make a motion to approve.
Second?
all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I'm going to switch comment from commissioners or elected officials. I want to do the comments from public first, if that's okay. So we have to give them the opportunity, then we can respond if we need to. So, comments from the public. Any comments from the public?
Yeah, probably. No.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is
morning.
Bianca Gamble. I'm president of Sullivan Vigo Rural Water Corporation, and I'm coming to you today to see what methods that we can implement, or I need to implement, or my corporation needs to implement, so we may be one of the stakeholders at the table for the ARPA money that has been given to the county. I think we came before you about a year ago, this time telling you that we had submitted a application to the Indiana Finance Authority for a grant, and we were subsequently awarded a grant for $750,000. Sullivan Vigo had to put in a portion, but we were requesting funding from the ARPA money. Originally, we were told a year ago in May, when we were attending a conference, that this money was geared towards water, wastewater, and broadband. Since then, I think it's fluid and it has become a whole nother creature. But we originally, in 2003, when the project was before the USDA, it was estimated to be a $7 million project, but when it came time for bidding and 2 Gulf Wars and a couple of hurricanes, the price went up to $9 million. So we had to eliminate a total of 22 miles of pipeline from our project. That being said, this money here, the ARPA money, would allow us to put almost 9 miles back into Vigo County, and that would potentially give 74 residents the capability of hooking on to water, as well as 1 business. And if you refer back to the 1980 comprehensive plan, it says that you will not have growth in southern Vigo County without water. And these individuals, what started this whole project in 1990 was the lack of clean, potable water and the quality of water and the quantity. So this is something that we have multiple families that are doing without, have been trucking in water, and their clothes turn orange. So it's a great need, and you don't have quality of life without clean, potable water. So I'm standing before you today asking, how can we be at the table for when you make those decisions for what happens with those funds.
So contingent upon you receiving your grant, was the IFA made aware that you didn't have your matching money first? Or
My-
did they ask that question?
That question was never asked.
Okay.
Our matching fund was $45,000. When the project started when we got the ball rolling in 1990 and then went to the USDA, because there are no incorporated cities or towns within the territory, we have to come before the county commissioners, and we came before the county commissioners, and they were the institute, the mechanism that signed off on that. So, it's a great collaborative effort when you have the corporation, IFA, and the county award of the ARPA money. It would be a great collaborative effort. And, without stakeholders being at the table, to let you know that there's this need here, and I think we've let you know that there is a need here. And we would appreciate your looking at that and assisting this, getting this ball moving again.
Bianca, how much was the original match ask? I tried to look it up on my computer, but I couldn't.
I thought it was 1.2, but our attorney says it's 1.7.
Okay, that would be almost $23,000 per individual in your area.
Excuse me?
So
In
if we
your
were-
area? In your area? I'm sorry?
Yeah, down at Prairie Creek.
Yeah.
So
How much money? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
So if we were to take the 1.7 million match money to give to you guys to help 74 residents, that's $22,000 a person down in Prairie Creek. Well, nearly $22,972.
But that does not include the potential growth either. So you can't,
I understand. Yeah, and you're more than welcome to be at the table, and I think we all would welcome that. But $23,000 per person for ARPA funds.
but that's not per person. That's 74 residential. So that's more than 74 people. That's a household of 2, a household of 6. So you can't, so that number does not hold water.
Okay, that's fine. Any questions from the commissioners or any comments?
No, I don't have any at this time.
I'll ask some if I can. Bianca, I recall when you started the water company, I think you and I were at ISU together, and I think we're in a speech class. Do you recall that?
No,
No?
I don't.
Did you go to speech, do you have a speech class?
I had a couple of English
Working
classes.
on your master's or something? But
No.
No, but I was surprised to see somebody starting a water company. I thought that was pretty neat. And that's, being an environmental guy and a fan of the river area, as you know, as you are, I understood the issues that are down in that area with water. And when I was working for the DNR to improve water quality in your area, that was on my radar too, professionally and just as a citizen of Vigo County. In the last few years, there's been a big fracking project that has occurred down there, as you're aware. And, has your water company looked into if there were any post-event or current event issues there? Because I've talked to several landowners that are concerned about the water. And, a lot of this stuff happened coincidentally during that same time period. So is that something you guys have looked into, is how that fracking project may have adversely impacted the wells in that area? I know it's not in your scope, it's not your responsibility, but.
No, we've had no one come and say specifically that that was a source of their problem. We have just had individuals, residents, who have come to say that their well does not recover as quickly any longer. To what area? I've never tried to connect the dots, but that's something I could try to look into.
Well, I know some of the landowners are because they've reached out to us, and we've had many conversations. One of the landowners that I originally talked to, and it's not my district, it's Chris and Mike's area. Yours goes into mine on the other end, but there's no
Right.
issues over there, water-wise, that I know of. But
Well-
the concern was when they bought the house, they were informed by somebody, an agent of your water company, that said they're going to have water installed there in a couple of years, and I think that was 17 or 18 years ago, if I'm getting my numbers correctly. So this person's mad because he bought the house with the understanding that water is going to be sent to his property, and it never happened. So that
Well,
was
I
one
would
of
like
the
to
first.
talk to you later about who that individual was and why
It's
we,
one of the people that signed your petition. I'll track that down for you. The other thing is, you mentioned 9 miles of pipe. Your water company does not produce water. You buy water from Indiana American Water, is that right?
that's correct.
So where does Indiana American Water fit in this? If this is a new extension for your original, if you're trying to complete your original plan, which is what I think you're trying to do, have you partnered to talk to Indiana American Water, who has the resources to do this as a private utility?
Well, the whole premise of why Sullivan Vigo Rural Water was created is because Indiana American is not a speculative company, and they would not expand their pipeline from Youngstown down to Pimento. They would to a cost of $3 million just to go down the highway. So that's when we formed our own corporation and pursued the gathering names, residents, and pursuing funding through the USDA. So Indiana American is not a speculative corporation. The only thing we do is buy water from them, and the only thing that they would, with expanding and adding those 9 miles back in, it's not an expansion in this, yes it is, but it creates a looping effect. And when you have when you have pipes in the ground with water, you want to create a loop. You don't want dead ends. Okay. And we have a lot of dead ends. When you have loops, that makes the water even better, and if you have to shut it off on this end, you can keep it turned on this end. But if you have a dead end, when it's shut off, it's shut off. So the expansion would also puts back in those 9 miles, but it also helps create loops, which betters the flow and the quality of water in case of an emergency. Indiana American, the only thing we do is buy water from them. So if we put 9 miles in and garner 74 more residents, 74 more houses, and a potential business, we just buy more water and we pay a bigger price for that. That's all it does.
Which is what I'm getting at. If you're buying the water off of them and you're going to pay a bigger price for that, have you had conversations with Indiana American Water to see, first of all, if they're interested in doing it, what it would cost to do it? Because if they can do their own line, I mean, you're getting their water that's coming to you anyway.
No, when we established the water corporation, we established a territory, and Indiana American cannot enter into our territory.
That's what I needed to hear then.
And you wouldn't want to run 2 lines parallel to one another, one being Indiana American and one being Sullivan Vigo.
Yeah.
That's just not cost efficient.
So how does utility become a territory then? I mean, was this when you originally incorporated?
Yes.
You said, this is our zone, this is our need?
Correct.
So if the state says, okay, when you established this in 1980 something?
No, not that long ago, 2004.
So in 2004, when this was established and this was your territory, in that plan, you said that you're going to cover all these homes, and there's been a deficiency there where there's 75 residences that haven't been touched. Can the state make an exemption to what they did to say, okay, look, this utility hasn't been able to move forward with this, let's open this up to another entity? Is that even an option?
No, that is not an option.
So you guys have secured that no matter what. So the
That's
only
correct.
way, if I was a resident along Battle Row Road in the River Bottoms area, the only way that I'm going to get water, I'm beholden to this territory thing that was set up in 2004 by Sullivan Vigo Water.
The only, that's the, Sullivan Vigo rural water line expansion, or a speculative drilling your own well and investing $25,000 to whether you will hit water and what level you will hit water and what's the quality of that water. And you know as well as I do that area, there's a lot of agriculture around, there's a lot of iron, a lot of sulfur in that water. You never know. If you look at the aquifer map.
I wouldn't drink it.
If you look at the aquifer map, where this territory is, we're just on the shelf of where we lack quantity of water. And that's why we're there, is because this area lacks the quantity of water. The recovery is very poor. You can drink it, but I know from my personal experience that that it has a very high salt taste. The ice cubes taste terrible. Your iced tea tastes terrible. But you know, and then there's always I don't know if you may be too young to remember when Dr. Drummy was county health officer, and he condemned the village of Pimento because everyone had a dug well and not a drilled well, which was what helped promote this project on. It's because a lot of people have dug wells and not drilled wells.
And Chris, you have a well system.
I do.
I have a well system, but I can't get water because I'm at the end of a private road. There's a water line that comes along there. I could get it, but it's going to cost an enormous amount of money for the 8 residents along the drive.
But if those 8 residents.
But the thing is, I can't go to the county and say, hey, will you subsidize my water? In that, don't take that flippantly, but that's one of the things that I look at. That, you know, I chose to buy the house on that well. I have to maintain my well, and I've had that hit where I had to put a pump in, and I realized, wow, I'm in the wrong business. Pump was $2,800, and it blew me away to go 150 feet down, I think, to get good water. You know, we've been talking about the possibility of subsidizing septic systems in the Otter Creek watershed area and the Marion Heights area and Concan and Hill area, because we know there's septic systems that are failing, or there's no septic systems at all, and that waste goes directly into our creeks and tributaries that flow into yours and my Wabash River, which ultimately can carry down into the area that you're talking about and contaminate that wonderful water table that is below the Wabash. So, you know, this is a huge project, and personally, I'd rather put $2 million towards improving people's septic systems than I would, and I hate, you know, for the guy that lives in that district to hear me say this, but then to put it towards a water initiative that a private utility should already be doing. And I also struggle with the fact that the grant was asked for under the auspices that we were going to fund that balance, and we knew that you were doing it, but we didn't know what the amount was. And when it came time for us to say, hey, cut a check, we were all caught with, you know, quite surprised there. So,
well, I don't mean to disagree with you in this sense, but I'm scratching my head because this was a very a quick turnaround from our notification to when we had to submit for the IFA.
sure.
So let's scratch the IFA off of here and just say, and so from what I'm hearing is that you're not willing to support a project of $1.7 million to help extend lines that were taken out of a project. So 74, if not more, residents can procure clean, potable water in southwest Vigo County.
Yeah,
Is that what am I hearing you correctly?
No, I think you're creating something, and this is where I go from asking questions to trying to not become old Brendan here. You have passed this issue off on us. You have had 70-something people come to us upset with us, implying that we're the ones blocking this to move forward, and that bothers me. It's your utility company. You applied for the grants telling the state that you had the matching dollars. We never worked with you. We talk about teamwork. We never worked with you. You want a seat at the table. We did not have a seat at the table in those discussions. So
But-
the IFA gave you the money.
But Brendan, let me just stop you there and say, yes, we did inform you that we were going through these measures, and that when the ARPA money was released, that we would hope that,
ARPA wasn't discussed. ARPA wasn't, well, I can go back through my notes, so we can debate this for hours. Your question was, are you telling me that I am not willing, and you're directing it towards me? No, I'm not saying that we are not willing. We are not willing. What I'm saying is the process to get to this point has been extremely flawed, and it gives us great consternation.
and that's why I'm here again today,
And I
asking
understand that,
you,
but we've also
where can we start?
We've
Can
also
we
had
start at-
council members tell us that you've approached them individually saying that the commissioners are blocking this, that the commissioners are not willing to give ARPA money, 10% of our money that's supposed to go for the greater good of the county for a specific area. And I also have struggles too with using public money that was provided to counties in the state to offset shortfalls during a terrible time to go towards a private utility. It'd be the exact same thing if Indiana American Water or Duke Energy, for God's sakes, who's technically raised rates on us in the last year and a half, 16% once and then another 14, 16% graduated, 32%. People can't afford that. So here, $100 bill is now $140 a bill a month. The Kearns household, where we honestly, I'm open about it, we enjoy good household income. The increase in the utilities has hurt us. And if any utility were to come to us and say, give us some of the ARPA money, that's wrong. And it's not that we don't want to support you and that we don't want people to have good water. We want people to have good water.
But Brendan, let me stop.
Water's important. But I think the way this has come about, it hasn't been smooth. Yes, as Mike said, you'll be included, at the table. This water company issue has been part of our discussions every time that we have met to go over our wish list. And our epiphany yesterday, and I apologize, guys, I'm the one that keeps talking. Our epiphany yesterday was we are not ready to put together a plan because we are waiting on a couple things that are going to take time for us to help guide us in doing what's right for the community, not what's right for a key group of individuals. In your situation, we recognize how you did it. Chris and I, Mike, I forget if you were on that call or not, with the IFA guy. IFA guy was pretty surprised that IFA approved that grant without confirmation that we were going to provide the match. And I recall from that discussion was, wait a minute, we bounced other people, not in his words, we bounced other people that asked for this to fund your grant, yet you don't have your money lined up. That bothers me because, as you know, I lived in Clay City for many years. Your husband, who I absolutely love, he's the attorney, was the attorney there at the time. He struggled. He worked hard to get Little Clay City what they could for their water company. So my thought at that moment was, well, did this award prevent other small communities that don't have the resources from getting funding? And the answer that I got from that meeting was yes, it did.
Well, let me stop you there by saying there were 500 people, or 500 entities that applied for the IFA grant.
Okay.
Out of the 500, only 22 entities were awarded any funds, and Sullivan Vigo Rural Water was one of them. Because I believe Sullivan Vigo Rural Water was awarded those funds because we were shovel ready. We have in place easements and the archaeological studies. Everything that was done in 2004 is in place. Now, the idea that it's a private company and that you say that our name is on the wish list, but yet that has not been conveyed to us, so I'm here today. This is the first that you've said that our name remains on the wish list, which to me, in order to have, you need to have good communication. And perhaps I failed last August by not making a phone call and saying, would you be in agreement to to fund this when I went on, and I think I said this before, I apologize for my naivety that I needed to do it again because it had already been done once before by your predecessors.
So you are shovel ready, but you are not checkbook ready. And I think that's something to point out. You had the infrastructure in place, but you didn't have the funding in place.
Well, that's why I'm coming, that's why we got a
Cart
grant.
before the horse, or however that goes. The other thing.
But the ARPA, that funding, that $20.7 million was for broadband, water, and wastewater. And I feel like since last August, it has evolved into something else. And now there's the engineers requesting money for 17 culverts. The Torpedoes got this, the United Way is getting that. All these names are floating out there.
No money has gone out.
Well, the rumor mill has it, but nothing has ever in that rumor mill has ever been said about Sullivan Vigo Rural Water.
So when that money was offered, we had all kinds of things lined up. We were going to build trails. We were going to build roads. Larry, how well did that work out for us?
I was at the meeting. It didn't work out well for you.
Because we've been told by many consultants, by many attorneys, by many other experts, that the three of us who are the decision makers and where the money goes can and cannot do certain things. There are municipalities that have their own utility companies. For example, the town of Riley. The town of Riley used to have their own water and used to have their own sewer. In the beginning, that ARPA money could be used for the town of Riley as a municipality to improve their infrastructures. It was never designed for Indiana American Water to enjoy that money. It was never designed for other nonprofits, for-profits, whatever you want to call them, non-municipalities to enjoy those funds. As it evolved, it's my understanding that that is a possibility now. It's up to the commissioners to decide. So in essence,
we had that debate last year about whether or not we qualified, and a nonprofit water corporation does qualify for ARPA money.
which you just stopped me before I was able to finish what I was trying to say. In essence, we have learned that we can do that if we deem so. At that time, we had already had $20+ million in projects already identified, and you are not one of them. I will share with you this. Why you are on the radar, why your water company is on the radar in our discussions that we're having on this is not because of you. It has nothing to do with you. It's because of the people that are pissed off that are contacting us saying that they were wronged by your water company and they need clean water. And this is me being Brendan right now. We have had so many people, Bianca, in your territory that have approached us, how angry they are, and how they feel that they've been ripped off, duped, whatever, and I could throw out all kinds of expletives that are in writing in the letters and the emails that have come our way about this. So what we're doing is, we're looking at them. We're not looking at your company. We're trying to find solutions as to how to figure out how to get them water. In full transparency, I've met with Indiana American Water. I've asked them, is this possible? And the answer is yes. From what their understanding is, they feel that they can do this. That's why I asked earlier, have you met with them? These people need the water. If your territory was formed and they were identified and they were told 20-something years ago that they were getting water, those people deserve to have their water.
Well,
If the solution is partnering with another entity to get it done, then do it. Get them their water. Please don't come to commissioners and say, look, you have to give us this money. You are the problem. We're not the problem. The problem was established in 2004. We want to help
Have no
you.
control over hurricanes or two Gulf Wars.
Oh, come
Sorry.
on. And then people use COVID as an excuse all the time, too. Well, that excuse is why we have this
It went from $7
money.
million to $9 million.
You know-
I have no control over that either. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got to go take care of my mom in a doctor's appointment. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment? Comment from elected officials or other officials in Vigo County?
You want to do yours first?
No, I'll calm down for a second.
Commissioners, There was a letter generated, and each one of you have been given a copy. And it's basically the employees of the annex building or the government building, however people want to phrase it. I just want to take a moment, I want to read this for transparency for all the people who view this or may view it in the future. This is something that's also going to go to the council, who is actually ultimately who it should be directed toward. I'm not the author of this, but I was asked to read it in a meeting. So here it states, Vigo County Council members, we come to you not only as Vigo County employees, but also as Vigo County taxpayers. We feel that we deserve the same level of protection as other county employees, courthouse and juvenile center, for example. The annex building or government building is the only building without proper protection against outside threats and desire to harm the government building and its employees. The commissioners set forth a proactive plan of action. We do need this building secured regardless of the expense, as it will be nothing compared to the lawsuits that will follow when something happens. The annex plan of action, and it goes down the list, manpower, armed security guards Monday through Friday, metal detectors, x-ray machines, public access limited to the northeast door only, paging system with color code alerts for all emergencies. Our hope is that action is taken before tragedy. In the current year, the annex building has been on lockdown 4 times, which is more than any past year. Each lockdown, there have been no clear direction, only confusion and hesitation, which is an emergency will cost lives. Please be proactive, take the county employees' safety seriously. Our lives depend on it. It is sad that we're in an environment where something like this is required, but we are there, and everyone here knows that. So we would like to present this to the council also. It doesn't necessarily support or against the 1.2 million that you guys projected. It's just in support that something needs done before something happens. Thank you for hearing that.
So, some facts are that the commissioners, Brendan when he was with Judy and Brad, Judy, Brad, and John, commissioners beforehand, have all wanted to do something with this building to secure it. It's just never happened. Never has it happened that we have had funding available to do something that wouldn't take directly from taxpayers. We had $20 million. Yes, you can include it all as we're all taxpayers in the whole country, but this $20 million worth of federal money came to us, and we paid what, Tammy, $40,000, something like that, with RQAW to contract with them to design, to go through our building. They went through the juvenile center, the courthouse. They walked this whole building with us and came up with this front entrance idea that we think is great. It's $1 million. That's worth one life to me. That's worth one life to Mike and Brendan. There's a gentleman that got up at the council meeting and basically said that county employees are expendable, which is unfortunate, which I think is absolutely astonishing. I mean, whatever, but, this plan was fully developed. We spent 9 months probably with Sheriff Plassey, with Larry Robbins, me, Mike, and Brendan. Diana Smith has formed a team to make sure we secure this building. Sure, we can throw up a metal detector and an x-ray machine at the entrance, but how do folks get to the bathroom if they're in a wheelchair? I mean, how do folks get around all that stuff and still get to the rest of our building? So the commissioners have set forth a plan for $1.2 million to improve the ADA accessibility and the security of this building. This building has not been updated in God knows how long, and we are behind this plan. The council keeps asking us for a plan. There are so many fantastic and positive things happening in this community that will require match money, that will require further investigation, further collaboration. A lot of these things won't even happen until 2024, 2025, and for us to give them a plan and look into our crystal ball, into the unknown, we can't do that. So for right now, working with Larry, Neil, Bobby, all the highway guys, we came up with a great plan to do some ditches, to do some culverts, to better the water, or to better get rid of water in this community. And we also been working for nearly a year on how to improve the safety of this building. So we have planned, we have hired an architect, we've gone with the proper security folks, the metal detector, the x-ray machine, everything is included in that $1.2 million, and we want to move forward with it. And, if the council sees fit to just give us $30,000 to buy an x-ray machine and a metal detector just to stick over there in the corner of the building.
There was a time a lady fell, she was in this room, and but we called 911 and tried to get a gurney in this door over here. It was absolutely impossible. She's sitting in the bathroom bleeding out, and we can't even get anybody in here. And I know it was brought up by one of the council members, have them come through the commissioner's door. The commissioner's door doesn't even have a handicap ramp to even make that possible.
Well, how many times have you seen me get caught at that door with my backpack on?
Exactly,
Right.
that door is heavy, and it doesn't have like the handicap where the door's open, it doesn't have anything. Yeah.
Comment as stated by Commissioner Schweitzer. This is a thought-out plan that's comprehensive. It's not a flash in the pan in any way, shape, or form. And the other, and part of that plan has been a way to fund this. This is a tremendous amount of money. There's no money any other place to really do these things, so that we like to look at it as an opportunity to make the improvements that need to be done. So that's part of the plan, the funding.
Anything you want to add on that, Brendan?
Just about the ARPA in general, it's confusing. There's $20 million that was given to us. It's one of those things where, like, you know, I don't want to say that we don't want it by any means, but it has created a whole another host of issues. That being that everybody thinks that they need $1 million for this and that. We just had dialogue, you witnessed dialogue about an example of that. I applaud Bianca for working to better her utility company that she started with the help of a few others. They've done a great job, and they provided a very good service. She's standing up for what's right and feels that she needs a portion of that money because she's entitled to it. That's the key word, entitled to it. That there are many organizations out there that we are all three supportive of that feel that they are entitled to that money because some attorney says they can have it. We had actually I'll skip that. Chris, Mike, and I, along with the mayor and a few other people, have had many conversations about what we can collectively do with this money to benefit the entire, and I focus on that, the entire community. Not only our residents, but make us more attractive for other people to come in. Chris and I attended a meeting yesterday with the Chamber of Commerce. It was their mid-year update for the 2025 plan. Mike, I forget if you had another obligation. It was an eye-opener. There was a very positive spin on it, but as many of you know, I lack that filter. The reality is we're in a pickle. The numbers, the way that people feel about our community right now, the numbers indicate we have so much improvement. The numbers also indicate that we are improving. If you look at what we've done in the last 4, 5, 6 years on quality of life projects alone, that is what's keeping us on the radar. People love the fact, I mean, we talk about the connector all the time. That's got to be the biggest home run that I've seen here in 20 years. That brings people into Vigo County. At this meeting yesterday, it illustrated our investment with your dollars to improve quality of life pays dividends. I can't stand ROI, that acronym, return on investment. I live the corporate life, and it's one of those things that I couldn't tolerate. ROI is always spun to sell. But it's obvious what our return on investment has been with us making the right decisions. When we talk about, yes, we're going to put $1 to $2 million on our wish list for a new entryway. When Brad and Judy and I were talking about this, it was $200,000 for what we wanted to do. We were moving forward with it. Was it Garmong that told us the building's falling in? Mm-hmm. So it didn't matter because at $200,000, what we could have done then could not have been done. The way the drainage is on this building, the pipes go right down into the ground. It washes up the base of it. The building's, it's not going to fall in. It's not going to collapse while we're here. Or it may. We're on the doom of dread fault. But it's coming down. So we go from what we thought we could do attainably with edit money or whatever money we had to knock this out to, uh-oh, look how much this is going to cost. Then we start looking at x-ray machines and scanners that come in, things that unfortunately we need to have now because we've got people who want to get us. I'll tell you firsthand, I've been threatened lately. Chris has. Have you been threatened yet, Mike? No, besides either one of us.
Not really.
But the issue is
But
there.
it's real.
The issue is real. There was a guy that I dealt with 3 months ago who was standing outside the park along the Fairbanks Memorial yelling obscenities at us, and I went out and talked to him because I'm dumb, and it wasn't good. So those realities are there. So not to digress too much. Is spending $1 million to protect your employees smart? Absolutely, it's smart. Do we have the money to do that? I think so. I mean, we're sending a lot of money. The commissioner's task is to run the buildings, to keep everything safe. The sheriff's department is to provide the security. The commissioners and the sheriff's department work hand in hand to ensure our safety. This is not something that we just whipped up to say, hey, let's build an addition. We worked on this. The council, the way the process works, the council approves the money or disapproves it. I'm not lobbying here for the council to move forward with that. I think, Kevin, you've done a great job with that. But to get back on track and to save everybody some time, we have been working diligently on this ARPA money. We have looked at key projects. The Sullivan Vigo Water Project is part of that, and it is part of that because of the people, the residents that have approached us. It is our job to ensure that we make the right decisions, and that is tough. That's hard to do because there are people, powerful people, people with a vested interest that want to move certain projects forward, and we have to make sure that we do what's right for the collective.
Torpedoes or for
I
United
don't get
Way
that.
or anything like that. I just
No.
want to put that on record. That has never been discussed
The
with any of
closest-
the ARP money.
Thank you for doing that. The closest that we've talked to that is helping out our local museums. I'll seize this moment real quick. We have the Vigo County Historical Society. Quick opinion. Is that run by the county? Raise your hand, yes or no. Yes, if you think it is. None of you do. Most counties, if not all counties, the Historical Society is run by, funded by the county commissioners. This is a private entity. They, to me, money should go to help them. But that's a collective decision that we all have to make. There's $20 million to work with. It sounds like a lot of money. Well, we just built a jail. It's not a lot of money. So I don't want to keep rambling. I do appreciate Bianca for coming here. Anybody that has concerns, that wants to pitch their thoughts, you know, this is an open forum. That's what this is about. I shared more in my response than probably I should, but there's a lot of stuff that we deal with in the background that most people don't know about that helps us. We're not hiding anything. It's just, you know, we're very transparent, but there's some things that just don't need to be, you know, thrown out there, I guess. So we're working hard for everybody. I'm done.
I was just about to get my popcorn.
We've got plenty in there. Unless Tammy burns it up.
Mike, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just reiterate that this isn't a program that we decided 2 weeks from now, and this is these are things we've prioritized, and it's been tough, but this is where we think it needs to be done. And as Brendan says, we deal with a lot of things on a daily basis that people don't know anything about, and it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, just to conclude, Mike Brennan and I and the mayor have been meeting for a year now on ARPA before we even had the final rule, talking specific projects and things like that. We've been more inclusive than I would say any other county with meeting with our council people, city and county, stakeholders in this community, plenty of meetings to try to develop a plan on how to best use this money. But I keep using the word transformational, but I think Vigo County and Terre Haute's in a transformative time right now. But how do we add to that? And I think that's what we're working on. But, you know, I still, as one commissioner, stand behind our $1.2 million ask to secure this building. I think it's a no-brainer, as every other county building has the system in place that we're asking for. I think the improvement to the building is needed. I think an area for an officer to stand up there is needed. And I think the safety of our employees is probably the most important thing for Mike, Brendan, and I, and the ADA part. So, you know, we stand firm on that plan, and we hope the council, you know, will see that too.
Yeah, make our job job collectively a little easier. I guess we do have a interest in it, and we can move on to the next thing.
So Diana, you have anything to add, or anybody else? Thank you. Thank you. One more thing. When it comes to ARPA money as well, for Mike, Brendan, and I brought up the $24,000 comment for Bianca, and I'm going to call her after this. It would be tough for us to spend $24,000 per household for one select group of folks, especially for the people in Nevins Township, the people in New Goshen. They do have a water utility, but they have no sewer. You know, in New Goshen, we're seeing growth. We're seeing that right now. In Idle Creek, we're seeing growth. We're seeing that right now. And those are the numbers that we have to work off of right now to prepare for the future. So a $24,000 investment per household for 74 people in a community of 106,000, that's pretty tough to do for me. So with that, we stand in recess.